Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's an overcast Central California day. Very nice and I love this kind of weather. Wish it would kind of stay like this the whole time. Anyway, are you straight? I don't know if you're straight. Okay, I want to show you what I've been working on, and then it'll be fun to talk about them. So I've been doing two document journals, because the last ones I made, there was a couple people that were kind of sad that they sold so quickly. So hopefully those people will be listening here and we'll get a chance. I haven't put them in the store yet because I have to work on that. I have to work on that. I have to figure out a couple things, and I'm going to tell you what. But I have two of them here. We'll start with a smaller one, and I'll just put this one here, I think. Now let's see how. Now, I got to decide. I wasn't going to make a bag for them like I do, just because it's going to take me even longer to do that. And I have a couple things on the horizon that I've been working on, and so so I don't know. I want to hear what you have to say in the comments, if or I might put them in my shop and offer it with a bag and maybe charge more. We'll see. But right now I have this nice, for this one here, I have a really nice, what do you call this? Muslin bag. But it's a nice look. It has this nice here, really nicely done. So, you know, you could do something in it, whoever buys it. Anyway, so that's what I have. Right now, that's what I'm thinking about doing. So I'm going to start with this one here. Let me see here. Put this over here. It's out of the way. And this is what I did. I just put this down here to be on behind it. And so this one here, I'll tell you the dimensions in a minute, but I want to open it up right here. This is, I used a sampler that somehow I was given this. I think it was I think I bought something from somebody one time, and they sent me this as a thank you. You know how they do? And so I've been holding on to this forever. I didn't know what to do with it. It's linen. I don't know the date, but it's cross stitch. I don't know if it's counted cross stitch, because now that I'm looking at it, like, see over here, the mirror, like supposedly mirror image. Well, his wing is bigger than this wing. I suppose it could be counted cross stitch, or it's just, but it'd be really hard to count in these little squares because they're super, super tight weaves. So I don't know. But anyway, I decided, I'm going to use that on these journals, right, on this journal right here. Just because, like I said, it's been sitting around and I feel bad that I'm just keeping it here. So yeah, so this is the cover. Also, let's put this like that. Also on the cover, I tied this guy on. Now what he is, there's the store called The Sack, and probably you've heard of it. It's they have a lot of stuff, but purses mostly. But last year or the year before, I had gotten some ornaments made out of this because it's crocheted. And I thought, oh, those are cute. And when I got it, they were great. So I gave them to some of my friends for a Christmas gift. And they carry these things that are like little bobs that can go on your purse or what have you. And they're crocheted, but they're made out of, they collect some of the plastic from the oceans and they somehow make it into this thread. And I'm telling you what, this thread is really nice. I mean, whatever this is, it does not feel like plastic. It feels like a regular old yarn of some type. And they're not inexpensive. I mean, you know, this is small. I don't know if you can tell how small it is, but it's small. Maybe an inch by an inch. I don't know. Where's my thing? Where's my thing? Okay. So look, I guess it's about 1.5 inches, well, 1.25 inches this way, and probably an inch this way, I'm going to guess. Yeah, an inch that way. And they come in a grouping of about 5. I don't know if they're 6, but they're usually they're around 35 or 25 to $35, where you got to pay shipping, et cetera, et cetera. So they're not cheap, but they're really cool. And I like it that they take the trash out of the ocean. So hopefully that's true. Anyway, yeah. So see, I told you that, and that was what this was. Okay, so we're going to sit down and we're going to go through this. I don't know how, well, let's see if I can zoom in a teeny bit just so you can see. Not that much. How about like that? That's pretty good. You can see it. Okay, so inside here, now the majority, I think for the most part, these journals use old documents. It's a document journal, but there are some digitals like this. The digitals that are in here are from Rachel's document journal kit that is long and thin like that, and it's really beautiful. I think she just had some journals that she made out of the kit. So that's where the digitals come from, and I don't think there's any other ones. I mean, I think that's the only digitals I have in here. Anyway, so over here we have some kind of a, isn't that citrus? Juice of citrus juice, I don't know, but it's some, this was a, I love the colors blue and green together like that. It's from, this is an original label or something that I had, so I just stuck it on there. This is a teacher's report card, or a teacher's report to parents. And this was 1923. Signature of parent or guardian has the signatures, huh? And then 8th grade. And then, oh, I'm sorry, this person, is it only 2.0? They only have 2.0. That wasn't too good. Public schools. Wonder where it was. I don't know, I can't spend time on this. I have too much to do. Anyway, so they have, well, that can't be right because look at the, well, this is 76, 60s, 58. Oh, well, maybe. Oh, I can't wait. This probably says she talks too much. I don't know what it says. Anyway, so there's a report card that I thought would be kind of fun to have in here. And this is a vintage seed packet. Super pretty, original. Okay, so here we go. This paper here was the paper that this, what do you call this? Ledger, like the end pages, and then there was a front page. So when I took that apart, I used some of this in here because I thought it was pretty. Here I have printed on vellum or I think it's vellum and not tracing paper. It feels like vellum. And I just hand sewed a couple, you know, just some fabric here. This is just, that's not old. It's just a sari fabric that has polka dots. And I don't know if these are really old. There were just some scraps I had, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna put that on here. It looks cute. Because it's usually a lace and document journal. So then I made, this tag is one I made, and but it's all old papers. This is probably the late 1700s, early 1800s. All this is that also. The bird was cut out of a book, and it has what kind of book, what kind of bird it is. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, so that's right there. Not much to say about that. And this paper, this paper here is that beautiful turquoisey that I made the other document. I made a couple, if you go back in my, maybe I can mark them, but one of the other document journal, I made 2 other document journals, and I made one out of this with a little container it went into with this one. I have a little bit of this left, so I want to use this paper because it's so great. And then this is a piece of old lace. And right here I made a little fun little floral, you know, thingy. A floral thingy, you can see. And I just tied it on here. Thought it would be pretty. And then this is one of my very favorite digitals, and I don't know which one it's in. I'd have to try and look it up, but of Rachel's stuff. So I just love it. So I just made a tag here with some painted paper. Okay, this is old. Everything is old, antique, old, vintage. Most of the things in here are 1800s, but there's a few spattering of other like early 1900s. So this is an old one. I can tell by the paper it's rag paper. I'm not sure the date. I don't think on that one. This is a fun letter. Look how they sent it. It has a little teeny seal here, and see, it was opened like that. So I'm thinking, yeah, that's how it was. And I don't think we can tell the date. I think I don't know the date, but I love it. It's all handwritten, and look at that. So vintage letter, or probably antique letters, more like it. This came out of another book I was doing, or that I took apart, and it was French, a French journal, and I don't know where it was. I thought it was originally this one, but it's not. That was too small. Too small. It says May. And then this paper is the late 1700s. This is one of Rachel's bird cutouts. I love the birds. And this is 1977. So this is a thing. This is a more vintage one. This is an original one. I believe this is original, and I think it is, but I can't tell. I don't want to mess with it. Yeah, I think it is because it's very crumbly. Okay. So if you remember on Rachel's original, goes back a couple years now, she would put, we would put these little things around. So that's why they're around, because that's how it was in the original lace and document journals that she had. I just love this fabric. It's a very soft cottony fabric. Here is a probably late 1800s. It's a spread. So you could easily use that in a junk journal if you're a junk journal maker who buys this. Otherwise, you can just enjoy it here because it's pretty. And this is a postcard, French postcard, and I'm not sure about the date. Oh, 1876, I think. But see how far it goes down below that. So I don't know if they went up. I don't know. But it's 18 something. I think it's 76. It would be cool if it was 26, but I don't think it is. Anyway, there you go. That's Rachel's Digital again. Old page from the early 1800s. Now this is a 1984, so that doesn't really even make it vintage, but it's a first day of issue, and it's an orchid, so I have a few of these, like maybe 10. I really like them. This is an original die cut. It was a salesman sample that I had several of those. So what you would do is they would show these, and they're in pristine condition because they were just on top of another paper, and they would show them. And then what they would do is then you would have printed the little card that went underneath them, and it would say their name or what have you. So that's what this is. This right here is, I have a date on this somewhere. We'll look, it'll probably come up. And then under here, I just put one of these fun postcards in. Isn't it beautiful? Castle Kent. This reminds me of that house in Pride and Prejudice where Mr. Darcy lived. Remember that? And he went swimming in there and went out. And I'm talking about the one that had Colin Firth in it as Mr. Darcy. I loved that one, that series. Anyway, so this is, I don't know if I could see the date on this, but I usually buy the postcards I buy, I always want to buy around 1900, 1900, whatever it is, 1911, 1909, around 1900, early, not later than that. I think you can tell probably from the stamps, but I don't understand why it doesn't have a mark. Okay. Kind of quiet because I did this once already for an hour and a half and it did not work out right, so I'm doing it again. So over here I have I folded this and so this is real paper here. I think that's some of that paper that is written, looks like with a quill pen. And then so when I folded it over because it was too big, then I just put this on there. And this is a Standard Mortgage, or Standard Motels. It's a, what do you call it? They're called a stock certificate, I think. Because, yeah, shares. Like, so this is pretty cool. Now, it's not old, but it's pretty. 1966. And over here is when they redeemed it. So that's interesting to me because they signed off whatever it was, or whatever it was, it signed off on the back. So anyway, it's kind of cool because this was stapled to that. And so then what I did was I thought this looked real pretty like that. And then this one I just stapled onto here just so you could have a little lift up spot. This is one of the German replica die cut thingies that you can buy of the old stuff. So just on top of some pretty Florentine paper. Under here, some more of that. I put this over the staples so they didn't really get snagged on anything. Then I just put one, look at my cute bird. There. I'm hoping you can see all this. No, we didn't move. That's good. Yeah, so I just did some stitching there. Over here is just another one of those salesman samples, super cute. Okay, then this is an old piece of the paper. It came off, you know, I obviously trimmed it off or something. Oh, wait. I can't tell the date. It does not say. So there's that. This is a piece of really old, like end paper that'd be fun to write on or what have you. It's old. I think it's a form of rag paper, but I can't tell what kind. Probably Rachel could tell. But if it was as old as, I mean, it's old, but if it wasn't rag paper, then this would be all cracked. So it's very good condition. Okay. And then this is an original, just little card here that's embossed. Okay, so I just have these under here just for interest. Let's see, we can go like that, like this, and then this one like that. I had to buy boxes to put these in because the one here is 16 inches, so I have to tell you what this size is in a minute. Remind me. Okay. Over here we have this one here is 1827. This piece here, and it's original. This here is 18, I'm thinking it could be a 74, but it's really written weirdly. So I don't know, but it's really pretty. I love all the stuff on there. It's either a 7, but it goes like that, so that seems weird. It looks like a 4, but I can't say for sure what that letter is. This is original, isn't it pretty? Now see, these are the original ones, but you can buy, I'll show you some I have here that I bought that were part of they're not the original ones, they're, so like this is so see how this one is here? I was trying to show somebody to, so see how this is right here? So it's similar to this, they're made out of the same dye, same things, but they've been reproduced, but it's super pretty, isn't it? So, so this is original. Let me see, I thought I had a really cute one I liked. And they come put together with several of them, and they're attached like this with some, like a lattice. Then what you do is you cut them apart and then just cut this part off. But I'm too lazy to do that right now. But yeah. Okay, so good, we got that, I got that, I showed that. This is, 18. This is super duper duper old, 18. Wow. Something 8. I have no idea what that is. It's rag paper, and it feels like the type of writing, it doesn't feel like it's really, I don't know, whatever it is, it's really great. I don't know, but it's 18 something with a 5. And it's rag paper, so I'm thinking that it's going to be somewhere towards the middle. Okay. This is, I got this on Etsy a while back. I got a pack of 3, and it's just like a little crocheted It's a little flower, I believe. And I just, for a bookmark, I just put it in here. I sewed this doily on here, just hand sewed it just for fun, just for prettiness. Over here, now this is 1884, this, and you can feel the pages. Whoever gets this, you'll have such a fun time just feeling the pages, because this is not rag paper. Somewhere the rag paper stopped somewhere in the mid 1800s, so this would be way after that, but it's very strong nonetheless. I mean, it's not, doesn't crack, it's very strong. So I just sewed a little pocket here out of a fun Sanderson fabric that I liked, and I put one of Rachel's a little snippet of one of her fabrics I got from her. Just kind of tied it on there for prettiness. Okay, so this is super duper pretty. Look how pretty the blue is. It's like I want to keep everything. This is 1897, this one. But I have to say that I don't think, what am I going to do with it all? I have a lot. I need to figure out scanning and then saving it and maybe make digitals out of them, because they're really pretty pieces. Okay, now this one, it's the same. They're all names, but they all seem to be written by the same person, which is interesting, I think. Here's another one. Now I had a big, huge book. I mean, huge book. That is, it's a, what do you call it? It's from it's a district court docket, and it had all kinds of instrument, you know, so a lot of it wasn't written in, but it was from the 30s, I believe. And so I just put one of these in there, but it's actually really strong paper too. So I thought about making this a pocket, but then I didn't. So, cause I don't know, I just thought it'd be nice not to see where we sewed it in. It was sewed, right here, I just did it this way, two, then two, then two, because instead of a pamphlet stitch, because that way on the outside, you didn't see that much, see? Didn't really see much, so it keeps it looking nice. And hidden. So, if whoever gets it and you want to make this a, something fell out of this, I'll put it back. If you want to make this a what you call it, all you got to do is glue down the sides there. Maybe you could trim it a little or not, doesn't matter. And then you could have this be where you could put stuff in there. And it's one of my ridiculous little thingies I sewed around there. My little sunflower. I don't know where that goes. We'll figure that out in a minute. So this is the other side of that paper. Back here, I took some of, so that one that had the little, right here, this guy, same fabric that had this on here. So I put it under here because I really liked this antique lacy stuff. So I put it under the hole, and then I sewed around it by hand and put something poofy. It just probably some little bit of, like this, a little bit of stuffing, but you know, the antique stuff that's on the quilts, the batting, I guess. So I just thought that looked super cute. And I put it on top of, I think, yeah, I did. I put it on top of on a piece of, under there, it's a piece of paper, so it should be nice. So that it's easy to get things pretty, it's easy to get things in and out because it's, you know, it's straight, it's like one thing, like that. And under here I put it's a wine label, super duper pretty. And I love this part here. I love the picture. I love the colors. I love everything about that. So he goes right under here just for fun like that. Okay. Now here's another, that's a super old page. Wish I knew the ages. One of these, I don't know if it's this one, because some of them had, looks like it was written with a quill pen. Well, we'll figure that out. I think it's, well, it must have already come up. So unless it's in this other one, I don't know. This is very similar to that. So maybe it's that there's some smudgies. I don't know. Okay, so here's a real, looks like an Eau de Toilette. It must be like cologne. A lot of citrus. This one's citrus too. French, so it must be, that must be French. Must be French. It's dumb him. Okay. I have a feeling these are like in the 60s or so. Did we say what it was back here? Oh, it doesn't matter. Here's the other side of that lovely paper. It's so beautiful. Oh, and then I just sewed this little snippet here with some cute snippety things. So over here, super old paper from the early or the late 1700s, this one. And so what I did was then I hand stitched on, oh no, did I glue it? No, oh, I hand stitched down here and then I put a little bit of glue on under here just to kind of hold it in place. So right here, I decided to use that as a tuck for just this cute little page. Now I have the real book. I have the book. Okay, I also had received or bought these pages, but I also have the real books that these came out of. And they're like little cute guides, and I have three different volumes. And they're super duper cute. I think they're from the 30s, maybe the 20s. I can't exactly remember. I don't have them right sitting here. But I thought I'd put this one right like that. Under here, I put this guy, and it's a, what it is it's like one of those cards for the library cards, but it seems like it has music on it on both sides. So it's original, whatever it is. And so the date of this was 1955, whenever, and I liked it because, so this is Paris, because I thought that would be fun because there's a lot of French stuff in here. Okay, just like that. Over here on the underside of this paper, I went ahead and just clip this guy on there, and I say mother. Oh, it's probably really blur. Really, there we go. It's a mother on her birthday, but I just loved how it looked, the colors of it, the little poem, and the pansies. Pansies are always fun. And then has some writing on the back. Okay. Over here is the other side of that beautiful Florentine paper. This is where this goes, I think. Okay. Then over here we have some amazing lace. A lot of this stuff in both of these journals are very hoardy stuff. I always like to keep this for when I do the snippet rolls, but I thought, well, it'll make such a pretty pocket. So yeah, it's right there. This is what I love about this here. So here's the middle. You see the holes where it was bound in. Look how it was. So this is a really old, I'm going to think this is late 1700s, but check it out. I love the end myself, but yeah, so uneven and so crazy kind of. So just the way it was. Anyway, it's right here like that because it looks so pretty. Over here, I have a flip. So now this, did I have the date on here? Maybe over here. Yeah, this is, so this one here, I think it's French, and it's from 1912. So what I did was I made a little tucks here with that paper, like I made the tab over there from that 1933 book. And I stuck in here some of these wonderful, let's see, where was this from? Summer Tanager. I'm trying to think if they fly through. Western tanagers fly through here, and I didn't see it this year, but oh no, my husband saw some in a tree but did not get a picture. So I'm not sure if I can trust him, but he says he did. So let's see here. Where did this come from? On your pantry. Okay. I had some, oh yeah, these came in baking soda. Can you believe that? Oh yeah, because it says right there, is it Arm & Hammer? Well, no, it says, wait a minute. See, it looks like it says church, and it must be English. I don't know. It's not Arm & Hammer, although it does have an Arm & Hammer. I don't know. You guys can look at it better. So yeah, this was from baking soda. Isn't that amazing? When did this happen? I missed all this in my life. Here's some lovely, lovely, this is a Labedia. I don't know. This is, where did this come from? It's got a black cat. So this is a cigarette card too, but where is it from? This is a new one I got. Introduced from Brazil in 1818, and tells about the flower. So I have found quite a few of these kind of things that come from different places, that come from like baking soda. And like, for instance, this one is from gum, right? Bubble gum. But it's from Amsterdam. So, you know, I don't think we had baseball player cards, but we never had fun things like birds. So that's right here. I'm sharing, so these are very hoardy. What if I can put his face out? I don't think I can put his face out. He'd be upside down. Sorry, guys, you're gonna have just have his hind end. And then this again is from cigarette cards too, but they put these pieces of silk in there. I'm gonna put a couple of those in my Roxy Journal Stitchery for this time, I think, because I love these. Okay, so that's like that. Look at this beautiful writing too, super teeny. It's another rag paper one. It's probably from the mid 1800s. Then over here we have this cute, it's a Cathedral de Saint Jean. Is that a place, you guys? Must be in France. Look at the writing. So it's nice writing here. And so it looks like it's, I'm going to say it's 1910. And over here, look, they wrote over here. It's kind of cool. Okay, so where did I put him? Oh, this goes down like, one of these was, what did I do? Oh, this, I know what I did. Okay, so then on the other side, I have this. I had that hanging out there because of the writing. It's a telegram. And it's from, do we know when? I like how it's folded and check it out. I like how it's all folded and stuff and all the markings. Let's see. Well, 23, I think. 17th, 23 maybe. Okay, well, maybe if you understand French, you can tell me, but it's old. Okay, so this goes like that, like this. And then it must have put something, oh, I know. Maybe it went, let's not break it, Pam. Maybe it went in here like that. Oh, it doesn't seem like it. Well, maybe it did like this, like that. Because it seems like there's a little something right there. Okay, so then what I did is, I want this on this side, because like this. Right? Yeah, and I just put this over here to be of interest, like that. And then this guy can be just sort of on top of it. That's what I think. That's how I think I did it. I got these little cute copper paper clips. This is original. And this is from, let's see if we can figure this one out. This receipt, looks like a receipt. Well, maybe we already said, since it's not, this is the second page. Where's the receipt at? No. Receipt, 1977. So it's not that old, but a lot of things on it I liked. All the different colors of stuff. And then, you know, the stamp. So this is 1700s again. I think I told you that. And that's the other side of that. Now this must be, I think this is June, but what is this? What is that July? Or it looks like, to me, it says Juliet. Maybe it's July. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know these things. Okay, so over here is, I have one more of these left. The Bon Ann pretty little, I think it was maybe on a sewing machine. That's what I'm thinking, but although some of it doesn't look perfect. Anyway, and they were for postcards, and they would put it like in one of those postcards that have a frame. So I don't know why they had, as I got about 4 or 5 of them. I've given, most of them have been put away. And this is just on here simply where you can pull it out. And then if you want to incorporate it into something you're making, then you can do that. This is a super old mid-1800s piece of, I think it's silk ribbon. Super pretty. There's the other side of that. So I just put that on there just for fun and prettiness. And then this in here, we have the rest of that paper. And I put on here a little thing I I'll tell you about that in a minute. But this is some of that lovely. Now I saw Carol Laws had a something she did where she put it over some vellum. She thought it would be easier to get things in and out, so I stole that idea there. But yeah, so it's over vellum. But boy, it's pretty. And then I had gotten some antique linen from France, and then they stamped on it some flowers. So then I went ahead and embroidered the flowers. And I've always loved orange and pink together. Reminds me so much of the 60s. I just love that. And then I just put one of the swatching that I did with paint. And then I just did a simple stitch. And I just clipped it on there in case you want to take it off. And then this is in the pocket, and let's see, 1935, this right here, 1935. And then this is just a little grouping of other documents that you can use and book page. So super fun. I've just been here. It looks really pretty and all this, I thought. And then over here I put my stamp, and I put the date, and I signed it. And then in here I did put a little bit of so that book I used about the rivers for my last swap, at the sign of the balsam bough. And it's a little poem, but then here it says, old song with a new ending. So I guess the person wrote his own ending, which I thought was kind of cute. So I thought that would be fun to have. And then this is a picture from the book, one of the illustrations, really pretty. And then a letter that was from 40 something, and it's naval airmail, which must be World War II. Aviation cadet, regular, U.S. NATC, Corpus Christi, Texas. So maybe he was learning how to be a pilot. That'd be cool, right? So that's all in here, letter, and the letter's also in there. So happy reading. So that's this one. This is the first one, and let's measure it. Let me find something that has inches. Okay, so this was my mom's, and she died a while ago. Well, I guess 20 or 30 years ago, but I still keep this ruler. It just reminds me of her. Okay, so this one is 10.5 by about 6.5. So that's this one. We're gonna put it over here right now. We're gonna look at the next one. The next one. Now I do remember the dimensions on this one. It was 13 inches, but then this part measured 16 inches. So that's the thing with that one. Oh, let's see, are we gonna fit? I'm gonna have to go scoot you back a little bit. Just like that, I think. There we go. And this one's the original folder here. Now it's a little bit full, but you can easily take out the stuff and then, make it not as bulky. Or I think it will calm down with time. But I put a lot of things in it so whoever gets it could enjoy decorating yourselves. So where's the center? Center, please. Where are you? Oh, I didn't tell you how many pages. I don't know. I'll have to count the other one. Oh, here we go. So this is the center. I'm just doing this so that I can open it up. So what I did with this one, I did sew it on with a pamphlet stitch, but I went ahead and then covered the spine with a slow stitch project I made here. So everything there is antique or old, and this is I made flowers out of it, but it's part of that veil that had those vintage old rhinestones in it. And so this is part of that veil too, right here. I think that's all I need to say about that. Okay, so now we're gonna open up. Now I'm losing everything. I know where that goes. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up like this. Oh, come on, Motel, you go. I know where that goes. Okay, so this is just like that. Let's see. Okay, looks pretty good. So see, this is the paper that was in here. So I went ahead and the first page, that's what I used to make some of the other scraps there in that book. This is one of Rachel's book plates. And then I just put some of my painted swatch paper, and then this is one of her cutouts. And same thing with the digitals. And then, you know, this one has more. I need to count the other one. I'll count the pages, remind me. Okay, so like this, we have this guy. Oh, you guys, this is so pretty here. Let me just open this without ruining everything. So nervous when you do this stuff, you think. Okay, so this right here was a beautiful piece. It was sent to me as a gift. I remember. Anyway, and I did one that had a, because the other one that she sent, she was very excited about, had a P, and I'm using that in my Journal of Stitchery Volume 4. I'm going to use that this time that had the P on it, but it's just gorgeous stitching. You're going to die when whoever gets this is just going to love it. I did a little bit of a collage here of some of the leftover paper, and this is also vintage paper, and I put one of these cute little German reproduction birds there. In the pocket, we have just super gorgeous 18. It's rag paper, but I think it's 1861, maybe. And anyway, but it is rag paper. You can tell, and it's a different language, so I don't know. I might have still had some of it by then, or some of these kind of documents, I don't know. Okay, so then I have this really cute, look at this envelope. I thought, I'm gonna put this on there because it'll look so pretty the way I clipped it on, but also it'll be nice if whoever gets this wants to use it for a letter, for an envelope. Really super duper pretty. Oh, it goes like this. I like this in like that. That'll be super pretty to send somebody a letter in. Okay, so what I did it this way because this is over here. I thought it looks better over there, and then this can be over here, just to sort of. This was the front page to that to this agenda book, 1933. So it's right here, and you know, you can see the really difference in the papers. It's very interesting. That's why I did a little bit of a reinforcement here, because it's not, that paper is very fragile. Under here, same thing. I did another pocket in the vellum, or yeah, I don't think it's tracing paper. I don't know. And then I put one of these in that's watercolored. Now I did not watercolor. It's a watercolored piece, and it was done by Indie Palette on Etsy. So if you want to buy anything else of hers, maybe one day I'll get this good. You saw my birds, right? I don't think we'll get that good, but. And this is, what year is this? Look how pretty this is. I like the blue. And what else? I don't know. I like something else with it. I thought I figured out the date on this, but I don't know. It's in here. Pretty pretty. And then this guy can be just like that. Okay. This is an old piece of, and it's fragile too, as you can see. It's a really old piece of paper. What do you call this when it's like this? But it's from a chocolate box. Like, it came from France. So I just put a few little pieces of stuff on here just to sort of help mend the little holes where there were. But I thought it was super pretty. Under here we have one of the Kyncitias flowers. And it's a phyllox, and it's just under here like that. And right here I sewed a little tab. And one of my ridiculous, can you see it? Yeah. Painted labels that I tried to do. Rachel had one of her Rachel's weekly challenge. I think it looks pretty because of the colors and everything, but I'm no expert at that, that's for sure. Okay, so then here's the other side of the abstract of judgment, and I didn't cover this one. I don't know why. if you want to, when you get it, you can easily cover it with something else, because you're going to have, there's going to be several, you're going to get several little bundles of antique stuff that you could use to decorate. So it's just, I don't think it's an old envelope, but there was a shadow here. So I just went ahead and collaged just because I wanted to. Inside, we have an old, now this is an old, out of a sermon book. You know, you'll find that most of these books from the mid 1850s and above, like 1700s, all that, is mostly religious stuff. This one, it's in English, but what I really love about this one is that it's a sermon something, and they have a whole scripture here. But what's interesting about it is they use the F's, and I wanted to do a search on the F's, but instead of an S, they use F. They had it here perfect. That's normal, but over here, look at fantasify. How do you say that? Fantasied. I don't know, but look how it is. Or like right here, accomplish instead of accomplish. Oh no, that's normal. I don't know what I'm saying. I thought that. Oh no, yeah, ACCOMPLIFH. Thought that was funny. So a lot of them are like that. A lot of the S's are F's. Christ, CHRIFT. I found that fascinating. So it's in here. And plus all the little marks on the above stuff, like the C right here. Like there's a little reflect, REFLE. I guess it's CT, but there's a weird little thingy over it. PURPOFES. So I thought whoever gets this would enjoy seeing that. Interesting how things have changed so much. Okay, and then in here is just one of my tags I've made. This, I believe this is a digital, the pigeon, but everything else is old. That's a 1700s paper I had that was left over from something I did. You know, like scraps, so it's in there. This is the other side of that really pretty paper. Here is a little cluster of tatting and some other netting things. I just put it in a little grouping here. Okay, in here we have, so this is a piece here, and I think I only had a little bit left. I think maybe the bigger, I think there's just, this was just came up to about here. Then I put something else on and did a foldy, and then put a big tag in so that you could extend it out some. So now this is a really long tag. Look at that. This is old German paper. As I love German's font, it looks so when they say Gothic or German, I guess. And then this is, now this is an old stamp I had. I mean, that's a stamp I had, but I just did some of this other rubber stamping. And then this is original right there. It's a label off of, I'm going to assume, I don't know what it's off of, but it was, on the back, it was glue. There was, I want to say glue. Yeah, when it's, you know, like the wallpaper that was gummed on the back, the glue type, the wet, it was like that. Okay, and then I sewed this beautiful, I love that Steph Francis thread. It's just my favorite. Okay, so that made this guy go in here. Nice long tag. And then in here, this is it's an old letter. I don't want to reopen it. I had to figure out how to put it back together so that this looked like it, you know, was just broken. I still don't know. I think, well, it looks pretty good. Anyway, and I don't, the date, I'm not sure about the date. Well, I don't know, you probably can find it, but isn't it so pretty? Look how the writing is. It's right there like that. And then in here we have some more of the fun stuff. So here's another cigarette card, greater spotted woodpecker. Now, I don't recognize that woodpecker for here. And that looks like it's, I mean, oh, his is baby. But red under there, no, I don't know if it would be red under there on his belly. I suppose it could. But so it's probably an English. I'm going to think this is some kind of English woodpecker. some kind of an English woodpecker. I'm so weird. And this is one of those ones I talked about one of my other videos that was gifted to me a group of these. But what's so funny is that they were meant to push out and stand up, I guess, to enjoy what they look like. But oh, they seem like they'd break really easy. Maybe that's why a lot of us haven't seen this kind, because, you know, because they probably did all break, right? Anyway, that's right there. Get to enjoy. My gain is you get to enjoy it. Okay, over here. I'm still in frame, right? Because I have to. Okay. This is 1878. It's funny, the paper, because it's not rag paper. It's funny. Here's one of those. I thought I put this on here for a reason, but I don't see where it was. Huh. I don't know. Thought there was something else clipped here, but maybe not. Oh well, so then this is an old late 18, early 1700s paper here. And this is just a little tuck here that has just a cute little 1941, but ephemera piece. Okay, this over here is that same stuff I always have. I think the date's probably coming up on this one. We have a little pocket here with a little, you know, you put that, what's that stuff you wash over there? I know you probably get so frustrated with me. I have it on my mind. It's right over there. Oh, okay. Anyway, so you could write on there. And I love this quote: integrity is doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. I love C.S. Lewis. And then here's a beautiful rose card. It's all embossed. Postcard. Do we have a date? January. Oh yeah, it's 19, and then looks like it's 1910 or something like that right there. So man, they're so pretty. Man, if we just couldn't still have all these things, the things we have now were so quickly done and not that great. So this is just I did one of those. It didn't turn out very dark, but then I went ahead and put one of these swatchy things with watercolor, and then I just kind of put it on top of some old fabric. This is a backing of an old quilt that came out of Amish country right here. And then I just did some stitching on it with that Steph Francis. I love their thread. Okay, over here, I did another pocket. There's a little quote here. And then this is some old lace. In here, I just put a piece of Florence paper because it's pretty. And then here is another, it's a thinner rag paper. So I'm thinking it's like mid 1800s maybe. And then one of the birds one of the birds that's a representation. No, you know, the German reproduction. That's what it is. Over here, we have a really cool, this came from Rachel, because you could get that kit from her where she had stuff for document and lace journals. And so I bought one of those, and either bought one or she gave me one to play with. I don't know. But anyway, it's in here, and I like how crinkly it is. And over here, this is so wonderful. Now this, I got, I think on somebody's live sell. And as you can see, look, it's, I think this was written with a quill because of the way the ink is and the fact that, look at how this is, you know, they can be sharp. And then I think this has a big hole in it there. And I think there was another one tearing here, and I just put this, this is one of those swatching I did with different colors, and I put it on the turquoisey colored paper, or the seafoam colored paper I'm using there, and it had a hole in it, so I just left it like that. And this is one of my little cards that I have millions of these. Look, it's only cut on one side. Let's just cut it. Where's my scissors? Unless we can't find it over there. So these, this is one of the very first, when I first started doing junk journals. I've been doing them probably for 5 years now, even though I don't do them that fast. So this, I think this is one of the first digital kits I got, and I printed them all out, and there were literally at least 100, if not more, these little seed packet cards. And I made them all, and I've been for years I've been still using them. But you can see right here, see how this is coming apart. It's not that the paper isn't really fragile, it's where they did some ink on it. So that's a real treasure right there. And next to it is another, now this is a reproduction there. I don't know what year this is. It might say on the next side, I don't know. It's a foreign language, so I can't read it. And this is United States Navy. Oh, maybe I got this confused with the other guy. This is a Naval Flight Prep School. So this guy was going to be a 2nd Battalion Platoon 8, Williamstown, Massachusetts. Or maybe I had letters from the same guy. Anyway, I like the stamp and everything. So I just put it on here for fun like this. Did I put it here? Where did I put it? I didn't put it on here, did I? I'll just do it like this. Okay, it's not hurt anything. And this paper that's in here is just probably an end page, an old, it's an old end page. Let's go like that. There we go. It's an old, this is an old end page from a book. Okay, this is super duper old, probably late 1700s, I'm gonna guess. You can tell by the kind of rag paper it is and just the decal, just how it is, you can tell. And over here, this is also rag paper, so this will be fun for whoever gets it to tell the differences. But this is more, they got an S here, so this, Jesus Christ, so it has an S instead of the F. So I'm thinking this is more, it's still rag paper, so I'm thinking it's more the mid-1800s, and this is earlier. And you can feel a little bit, not as much. This is a little snippet I got from, I think it's Chrissy's Attic in Australia. And I like to buy things from other makers. So that's what that is right on there. This is a reproduction. Okay, this over here. I love how these things were, like, look at the notary. Look at how it's like that. Why can't we do these things this way now? There's plenty of space in here to write or embellish or whatever you want. This is a late 1700s. And as you can see, there's different fonts and stuff, just super pretty. Here's another page. I do not know because it's, I don't know what, it could be for, I don't know what it is. Sorry. And then this was I found this laying around. I have so many things you can't even believe. I have to use them. I just get tired and sometimes it's too hard to find them. I got to get with it. But this was a tab I made another time, and so I just put it on here. That's one of Rachel's digitals. This is, we're going to go, this just flips up. This is one of Rachel's weekly challenges, and inside is just a tag I made with the old paper. And then I think this was it's an old button card because there's pearl buttons. And so I just decorated it some. Okay, just go in there. Try and keep you nice if we can. Okay, just like that. And then we stuck one of the cigarette cards in here. Pretty, 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 pretty. Over here we have, this is Notre Dame. Isn't that pretty? And it's 1915, it looks like. Look at the writing, it's so fun. I just loved how it looked. I loved how the picture and everything. The other side of those papers. This is an original. And you see the little rams. This is the original, one of the die cuts, like the other ones that are reproductions. And then this over here, I made out of some of the lace and just some lace. There's some cutout lace and things like that. I just sewed it a little bit and did some stitching on it and put it under here just as a pocket with another old letter. And it's folded to where it opens. You have to pull that out, which is interesting. I wish we would do stuff like that now. Look at this guy's writing. Or her, I don't know who. Okay, this another is that in paper here. And then I have clipped on here this pretty receipt. I don't think it's old. Um, I had the date. What? Does it say 72? This might be. It's not. I don't think it's old. It could be 1972. I don't know, but I don't know. Then that. I don't know if that's. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it could be 72, maybe like that. But I like the colors of it. You can tell it's old because it's just the way it is. This guy here, I can't tell what this is either. This is the other side of that beautiful paper. See, look how it is right there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little it's where the pen gets, where you write with the pen. And this is the other side of this lovely paper. It has 1937 in here. So I suppose that could be around the date. Urgent. Okay, so over here, this was one of the projects that Wendy did, My Journal Adventure. And so I just went ahead and put it on here because I like it. It has some vintage paper, this paper that I painted on. It has a vintage stamp. It has, now that's a cutout of a flower. That's also cut out, but this is vintage paper back here. And then this is one of the, this is one of the reproductions. So then that opens up like this. It has some of Rosemary Morris's beautiful eco-printed paper. Look at it, isn't that beautiful? And then in here's a postcard, probably like we saw before on the other one. Look at the pretty colors. I don't know the date. And then a butterfly card. And these are British butterflies, I think it says. I got a group of butterfly cards that are British butterflies. And but we have, butterflies are amazing. Do you know that, you probably do know, but the monarch butterflies, they migrate, and so do the big migration. And we have here is called I think they're called, painted lady butterflies. There are like tons of them all the time, like when they come through. And I have a feeling they were, they look sort of like monarchs, but not quite as big. They actually kind of look like this, similar like that. So it's like that. This opens up like that. So you can write on all that space. And then under here we have some more stuff. And then this, put this in here, something fun. And it's a vintage piece of paper or antique. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way of knowing. But I just folded it and put it in here for something fun. Under here is then part of a map and some paper I painted. And under here we have some, now this is a newer section. These are newer ones. Not newer, but there's probably still the 40s maybe, but they're very vibrant colors. And then another one of these, I think I gave you a couple of these, whoever gets this one. It's a sunflowers. I so want to keep that. But I'm going to be nice and give it. I want to keep the sunflowers. Okay, like that, like this, and like that. I think I put this under here just for interest so that when you go like that, and it opens like that. There you go. Okay, this side, same thing. I embroidered this flower, and I also put a bee. Look at this, my favorite, the bee. I've only done one of these ever, this kind of bee. So I'm going to need to do another one of these because I really like it. I need to do it in my journal of stitchery that we're going to be doing. But this was some kind of a long runner thing, scarf. And so I just did some, to bring it up, I did some slow stitching there, and I made a little cuff here, slow stitching, and then I pinned this guy on there. And as you can see, it's real pretty, just a little basket with flowers. Can you see? No, you can't see. Why don't I look more? A little basket with flowers. And then an old check in here. Ooh, I love these. Look at this. 1936. Look at all the stamps. That's almost 100 years old. And then stamps. Can you believe they're trying to outdo check, or get rid of checks, which they probably will soon because they are a hassle. But, you know, pretty soon there will be no paper we use. Everything's electronic. And this is the other side of this lovely guy right here. And this opens out. It's 1884, this ledger. And then I put on here one of the labels. It's an original label that I just put on here for interest. And then we have this big long paper again. I think it's the late 1700s. And this is original. Okay, how do we look in here? Okay, that's good. So then over here I put, so on here, there's 2 pages here. So this is that other page that I said there was only a little bit. So this is a super old paper. I'm thinking it might be late 1700s, early 1800s, possibly. It's rag paper, but it's really old, you can tell. And then here's a receipt. Do I have the date on that one? I don't know if I do. But I had them staggered like this. Then I decided to put this on here. Now, what this is a little journaling area I did. And it's one of the pictures from the last book that I swapped, the last journal I swapped. And so, just pretty. And so what I did was I just put it here, down here. It's a fun place you could write. It's a digital, this is a digital, so that's not old. Do we want it like that, or we want it this way? So junk journal people are so, aren't we crazy? Oh, I should go that way, it looks better. Okay, that like this. So this page was the other side of that page. I think there was some kind of receipt. There's some kind of, you could tear them off and there'd be some sort of receipt thing. But then it went up like this. I decided to extend it out. So this is a real, this is an original piece of ephemera here. And then this is original. This is original book page or music, but then I had done some, what do you call that thing? Gel plating with it. And this is a reproduction of that. And then this is real, a circus. But then this is a printout from somewhere. I just cut it out because I thought it looked so pretty. Okay, then this is the other side of the court docket, and I put on this pole. Now this is from the early 1900s, a beautiful lace. It's just gorgeous. I love the color, I love everything about it. And this is what went in there. Another one of the motel little thingies, and then a packet of fun ephemera that you can easily play with. That's why it's kind of thick, but this can come out and you can play with it however you want. And so this is just, it's all original, old ephemera. And then this is a cigar. I have a friend that smokes cigars. I ask him, oh, give me the good cigar bands that look interesting. Man o' War, virtue, Man o' War. I don't smoke cigars. Okay, and then here's another bubblegum card, bird. It's in here, and then the other side has a little bit of that, and just, so what, this has 1853 is this paper here. So this will go in here, just like that. That's in there, like that. And then this is just sort of, this went over the top. You could tuck a little something in there if you wanted to. And there's my label now. I made a mistake. Instead of going 07 for the date, I put 70. So I just put a weird smiley face right there. Hey, you can't get this just anywhere. There's that. It's my thing, and it says Pam. Okay. I think this is original. And I did another one of these first day of issue, but it's a robin, American robin. And we're going to, what do I have? Oh, I have a beautiful, I love this card. Postcard, I don't think I know when. Oh, I'm wrong. 1911. But it's so pretty, the beautiful, it looks like black and white photography with a little bit of sort of colorized some of the flowers. Really pretty. So that's in there, like that. And this, I had this pinned here. On this side was a pocket that had, this was a it had some butterflies on there. I didn't do the butterfly. It was already on some of the things. Can you see it? Yeah. And so I just folded it over like I did and sewed some stitches there. And then I added this guy, which I usually really covet these. So you're lucky I let it go. Sorry. And then a little bit of a, suffix puff, and then some more embroidery there. It's just added to make a cute pocket. In here I put one of my crazy, look at my bird. Yeah, I was trying to do the painting and stuff. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but you can toss that if you want. But thought it looked pretty with everything. Yeah, I can admit when it's not that good, but I kind of looks rusticy, like a child would do. And here's some tatting right here. Love the tatting. Okay, so that's all done. Now, this, you could take this is chiffon, white chiffon. You could take it out. Like I said, it's pretty thick, but it will calm down. It'll calm down if you put a little bit of a weight on it. And if you take out some of those heavy ones, like they have all those other papers, and use them in the book, I think it will not have as much bulk, obviously. Originally, I was gonna put one on here like this and then go around like this and then just have it have a thing just sort of like that. I was gonna do that. But then to do that, I should have done the bottom one, but I did the top one first as far as the holes go, which, duh. Now the holes are black. They have a black rivet in there. And so eyelet, and so you can't really tell. It looks like it's supposed to be that way. So if you want, you can just take them both out and then just tie something on it, or put a longer one of these, or tie this in such a way to where this is longer, just one of them, and go around it. So, you can do whatever you want. Okay, so, oh wait, I always forget to count the pages. Well, I told you the size of it, right? Or no, I told you it was 16 inches, and it's how wide? It's almost 6 inches wide, 5 3/4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's 20 pages. And if you do times 4, because you do 1, 2, 3, 4, so that would be 80 pages of, surfaces. So that's a nice size, I think. So I just have to figure out putting these in my shop. I just have to do it. And like I said, I've been here for about an hour at least. And I did it an hour before that and checked, so I'm kind of tired, so it'll go in soon. And then this, I was gonna put that one in this bag. It's just a tote, but you could do whatever you want with it, because it's so big. It would be really hard to make a bag for that. It's just too big, and I think it would cost a lot more because it would take me forever. And so what I was gonna say is I have a swap coming up with Carol Laws, very excited about that. And so I've been doing some stitching for that, and I have a lot of problems with my hand right now with stitching, so I gotta figure out why that is. So it's a little hard for me to do that right now, but there's a lot of my stitching in each one of them. I don't know if I can do the bags. Anyway, guys, so let me know what you think. And I'm sorry I'm not more excitable. Oh wait, I should tell you how many are in this one because it has less. Let's look at this one, I forgot. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it has 5 less pages. And so it's probably why it's not bursting at the seams. So this one has 15. So that would be about 60, whereas this one has 80. So thanks again, you guys, and I really appreciate everybody. I really appreciate all my subscribers, especially the new ones this last month. And thank you guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.